Whatever happened to Hou Yi? Hou Yi is one of the most interesting developments in Smite regarding his own balance. Most other characters are affected by meta a lot. With Hou Yi, that's not so much of a factor. It's still a factor, but not the biggest one. Let's look at the changes that affected him most. On release, Hou Yi was really weak. His one, Ricochet, had a long wind-up before it even got shot, same way as Athena's dash has a wind-up. The projectile speed was slower, and his base attack speed was also lower. Also, his dive bomb, his 3, was a really weird ability as he didn't leap, but he went up into the air, then floated around, was immune to damage, and then landed at another point, but he was not able to go over walls. The whole ability felt really strange, as it didn't really make sense that a floating guard would not be able to go over walls, but at the same time was immune to damage of all kinds, even dots. When patch 2.0 hit, Hou Yi saw some slight changes. His attack speed was increased, his ricochet was made a little bit faster, but not the wind-up, and his 3 was made faster and no longer made him immune to damage. At the same time, the map was changed a little bit. It was arguable if that was good or bad for him. Some people thought it would really nerf his ability to bounce, but most were convinced that it would actually help him. In patch 2.1, Dive Bomb was finally able to go over player-made walls, but it was still not a proper leap as it would only go over player-made walls. In patch 2.3, the wind-up was removed from Ricochet. This was the first time that Hou Yi actually felt decently playable, but it was still a rather strange character compared to others. In patch 2.8, Dive Bomb saw a major overhaul to what we know it as today. Hou Yi would now go up into the air, hang there for a moment, and then be able to drop down again. What mostly led to Hou Yi being considered a good and viable hunter was what happened in patch 2.15 in October 2016. Hou Yi received a change that was actually already proposed by a Reddit user a year before that. Namely, his cooldown on Ricochet was reduced from 14 seconds to 10 seconds. This helped him a lot because it allowed him to actually effectively clear the lane like other hunters with the Ricochet without being dependent on the bounces, which are not always easy when trying to clear a wave. At the same time, his Dive Bomb received a pretty strong scaling increase from 30% to 60%. This allowed this ability to be more than just an escape and use it offensively in combination with a knock-up into a stun and so on. Hou Yi was now considered decent and he was picked up, but he wasn't necessarily top tier yet. What made him top tier was mostly Season 3. While the map changes in Season 3 didn't really help him all that much because the map became more open, what helped him a lot was the return of Qin's size. With Qin's buffed, Hou Yi became one of the strongest hunters. It sounds a little odd because he's so ability-based. The reason is in Hou Yi's 2. Mark of the Golden Crow has 25% built-in penetration at max rank, and you get it around the same time that you're able to finish Qin's size. Qin's size greatly benefits from penetration, as Qin's size doesn't deal true damage, but is still physical extra damage, and every kind of penetration you have really helps that. So Hou Yi was able to forgo penetration items, go straight into Qin's earlier, or just get RC before that, and that even helps in the current meta, because we still see RC and Qin's size being picked up frequently, and he just has that extra pen that other hunters need to get in other ways later in the game, where Hou Yi already excels. At the same time, what helped Hou Yi until recently was the Titan's Bane meta, because Titan's Bane has better synergy with the Mark of the Golden Crow than Executioner. We might see the return of Executioner now, and it might actually not be in Hou Yi's benefit, but it will still leave him as a very strong hunter. So overall, Hou Yi has had a great time ever since the late Season 2, and especially in Season 3, he's been doing very well. Does Hou Yi need nerfs? Possibly. He's not completely overpowered as some other characters would outside of 1v1 where he's just way too strong, but at the same time he has been performing really well for quite a while now, and it wouldn't be surprising if he saw at least some small nerfs in the near future. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out the rest of the Whatever Happened series. Thank you guys for watching. Duke Sloth, out.